Backstage we do. Okay, so again, for those of you that are new to Superbikes, what we've done for this year is we're trying to make the fan zone a little bit more accessible. So you will notice that the fan zone is no longer inside the paddock; it's next to the paddock. And the reason for that is we want to make this a lot more of an atmosphere and give you the opportunity throughout the weekend, not just on race day, to get really close to your racing heroes. So I'm delighted that I've been able to schedule a Friday paddock show at all of the events this year. And of course we're in the UK, so it makes sense to bring out some past heroes of British racing. So without any further ado, firstly, please welcome to the stage a former champion. I'm sure he's going to tell us all about what he's doing here at Donington Park with the race school that he runs, and of course how he continues to help his son Leon in the FIM Superbike World Championship. Please welcome Ron HASLAM. Okay, we move from one past champion to another. This was a last-minute thing, and very kindly he agreed to do this. He was on commentary duty at Le Mans last weekend, and unlike Wayne pestering me, I was pestering him with text messages, and finally he agreed. Please welcome to the stage the former FIM Superbike World Champion, not once but twice. Please welcome Neil Hodgson. What's going on?
If I could tell you why I was late, you won't believe it. It's nothing like that, nothing exciting. No, I was listening to Alex and Sam Lowes talk shit, basically.
Oh, well, no change there, but welcome, thanks a lot. Okay guys, so the way this is going to work, we've got the pleasure of Ron and Neil's company for about 20 minutes. We will do a couple of competitions throughout the show, but I'm going to ask a couple of questions, and really I'm going to throw it open to you. So think of some questions, and if this is really your opportunity to ask Neil and Ron anything that you, well, I'd say anything, within reason. We said that in Australia and it turned into a bit of carnage, but try and keep it clean because we do have a few youngsters in the crowd. But your opportunity to ask the questions that you want. So firstly, come across to Ron, and of course, not maybe the Imola weekend that Leon wanted, a spectacular crash, and again, as he said, one of the scariest and probably biggest of his career. But great to see him here, and how about it, ladies and gents, Leon HASLAM riding this weekend with broken ribs. He was in the top 6 in FP1 for a great time. But Ron, you're still heavily involved with Leon, and all of the circuits have been throughout his career. Just tell us a little bit about the role that you play, because we see you on track and spotting, and what is it that you actually do for Leon?
Yeah, I think mainly it's obvious. I've been there, done most of that. So when I'm out on the track, I can mainly look at the other riders, you know, the ones that's putting quick times up, and compare it with Leon, and then I go back to Leon and tell him whether it's riding or a bit of the bike or whatever. So yeah, trying to do a bit of help all around, you know, a bit of help with the team. You know, obviously my experience, we're on bikes so many years. I can see quite a bit that sometimes the bike could do changing a little bit, and say on Leon's riding as well. Just you can't tell them how to ride. You can just say, you know, one's quicker than you a little bit there. You know, try something different. But you know, that's about it really. You know, I just tend to look on what's out on the track, different type of lines, different ways of approaching it, and it's up to them then to try and get the best out of it.
Of course, we're all former racers. Never was anywhere near as fast as you guys, but we're all former racers. And I guess as a rider, sometimes you always think that you know best. Have you got any funny stories about maybe some advice you've given or some changes to the bike of advice where it's actually worked? And then obviously Leon's come to you and went, "Thanks, Dad, for that. That's helped us win or got on the podium."
I don't think it's so much change, you know, on the bike and that. I think the main ones is. You know, like here especially, there was a race school I've got on that. Me and Leon was out there playing on the, you know, the standard bikes, you know, not the race bikes, and that's the good bit about it. On brakes into the loop here, that's my strongest point, it always has been. So he's trying to match me there, then you sort of talk about the S's on the entrance where you need a bit more bravery. Leon's miles quicker than me, so basically I've got not so much funny stories, but we have some real good battles out there. You know, he has to wait for me in lots of sections, and then when we get to the loop, I can sort of give him a bit of stick there. Then, so yeah, it's just good fun that way, really.
And tell us if you can, Rob, before we move on to Neil, just a little bit about the race school, because of course the race school was here for a number of years, it then moved away, it's now back at Donington. And Donington is a home circuit for you, and it's been a big part of your life. Tell us a little bit about the history of you and the circuit and everything that's happening with the race school. I'm sure some of you have even been on the race school, and if you haven't, why not?
Yeah, the race school, obviously, we've been here, well, been doing it about 19 years now, so, and I'm pleased to say now it seems to be coming back again, so it's getting real strong again now this year. Most of it's full most of the time, which is great. We run all the classes, we run right from 125s, 300s, 500s, 600s and blades, so it's quite a big concern. And it's just to give you all the opportunity to go around the circuit, whoever you are, whether you're just a first, beginner, or you're experienced from racing, whatever, we cover all the ends, and it works really well. And on my half, what can I ask more for? I've got 20 days a year playing on Donington where I can do all I want, on any bike I want, which is fantastic. So no, the race school works well. Get lots of young riders coming through, and it's just nice to help them, to be honest. See if we can actually put a bit more experience into them, and it's good fun, basically.
Okay, for the time being, Ron HASLAM, ladies and gents. We will take some questions from the fans itself. With Nick, and I have to say, I'm getting a bit worried about my job, mate, because you're pretty handy on a bike, but you're not doing a bad job at the old commentary, are you?
No, I'm crap at that. I'm still getting the hang of it. It's a lot harder than it looks. You do a good job. It was funny, I was listening to you sat out the back there, and I just thought, I can tell you're very experienced at this. It's not as easy as people think. It's really easy answering questions, but asking questions, that sounds like an easy job, but asking questions and then trying to listen to the answers and also think another question, well, for my very small brain, I find it quite difficult.
I think you do a good job. What about it, especially when he's doing the onboard laps, and I've never lapped so much in my life. I mean, it's brilliant, keep up the good work. Now, obviously, you don't have a son riding in a championship. Maybe in a few years, you're going to may decide to take the two wheels. But you are heavily involved with Alex Lowe's and obviously mentoring and guiding him. Are you sort of involved in a similar way to Ron with Leon in terms of the track?
Not as much. At times, I don't go to every race to start with, but at the events that I go to, if he's struggling at a certain part of the track, then I would go and watch and do exactly what Ron does, which is so helpful. And again, you can't tell someone how to ride a motorcycle. You can just say, all the other riders or the quick riders are a metre to the left, or they're using a taller gear than you, and it's information that he can't say, I'd do that. But at the moment he's having problems with the bike, and I'm no help to him on the track because his biggest hurdle at the moment is getting the bike to work properly for him. So I'm not really been that helpful this year. I can point things out, but then he gets frustrated when I tell him because he knows what he wants to do, but he's not allowed to do it at this stage.
And I'm sure we want obviously Alex and the Volcom Suzuki to get back. He's been on the podium already this year, let's not forget, in Thailand in the second race, so I'm sure when it all does come together, he'll be right back in the mix.
Yeah, we're all confident, we're all confident in the team's ability and the riders, Alex's ability. It's just, unfortunately, changing the electronics on the bike when they did, they've just had some teething problems, and it's frustrating because every race weekend it becomes a test session, and nobody wants that, but it is what it is, and everyone's working hard to get it right.
And of course, Donington Park, the scene of, obviously you've been on the top step here, and of course, double champion. What would you say is your fondest memory of the circuit?
Oh, I just love this place. I love everything about Donington. It's one of my favourite tracks. It's right up there. I was here last week, I was telling Ron when we sat back there, I was here last week with Focused Events who do track days and doing a track day, and I ride down trainer curves and the sun's shining and you just think, God, this is what riding motorcycles is about. This track is the trainer curves, old hairpins, Swansons. That is the feeling I get riding a motorcycle through there is really, really special. So I won my first World Superbike race here as a wildcard in 2000, and that was the best race of my career, just for the feeling that I got when I crossed the line. I was telling someone earlier, I talk about it all the time, but I do. But I said it's the best drug in the world. Whatever happened to my body as I crossed that line, whatever that release of endorphins was, nothing's matched it. Nothing's matched it since then, and nothing like that. anything I'd ever done before felt like that. And I've had so much shit off people saying, what about the birth of your children and all that lot. And I've got to say, the birth of my children was unbelievably special. And I was in tears and all the textbook stuff that you're supposed to do. But still, when I crossed that line, Donington, everyone hates me for saying it, but
Before I open it up to the crowd, because I'm sure they've got far more interesting questions to ask than me. We saw a press release that was issued on Monday by the Sepang circuit. Of course, we're going to Sepang for the World Superbike round in a few months. And I don't know if you're aware, but obviously the Sepang circuit for the first round subsidised one of their local Malaysian riders, Akwan Zaidi, who's now riding in Moto 2. And they basically paid for his entry and leased the bike and put him on a fully sponsored Sepang circuit bike in Supersport. I think he finished 8th or 9th in the race. The press release for this year says that they're going to continue with that theme and they're going to pay a legend of Superbike. So we've been racking our brains, and I'm praying that you're going to give me a scoop. Will you be making a return to the track at Sepang?
absolutely not. No way. Oh my god. No, it's...
We'd like to see that though, wouldn't we, eh?
Yeah, but it's so much harder than you think. I still ride. I mean, me and Ron both still ride a lot, and it's that last second, probably for me, more like 2 seconds. I can still ride a bike really fast. I'm dead confident. I know what to do, but. And Troy Bailey showed it this year when Troy said he was coming out of retirement to replace Giuliano. I thought it was a really brave decision. I didn't understand it because he finished on a win, and I was so envious of Troy. I think everyone's rider's dream is to finish as the champion, you know, and Troy did that. So, but he came back, and Troy still rides all the time. I think Troy deep down thought he was going to be competitive, and it just shows. And it's no disrespect for Troy. I'm a massive fan of his and a friend. It's just, it moves on, and your window was your window, and you can see the way Troy rode a motorcycle. It looks so old-fashioned now, because I ride like Ron. I lean the bike and I lean across it. That's how I was brought up, watching people like Ron. Well, now you don't. My head's up there. Your head's supposed to be down by your hand. Marcus started, isn't it, down here? But if I put my head down there like that, I don't know where my tyres are. I don't know how much lean I've got. I'm really slow.
So we wouldn't see sparks.
So no.
So no. Okay, Ron.
What we're better off doing, me and you, is if we don't do it, it just means we can sit here and just make out we can beat them anyway. We don't want to try and prove it.
Well, how about we just all turn up at the race school? You've got a school coming up, I think. Why don't we just turn up at the race school and stick you both out on 500s or something and just have a HODGSON and HASLAM head to head? What about it? Who would win that, actually, out of interest?
Big advantage there, because I get a lot of young riders on the CB500, so I'm out with them all the time. So Leon made that mistake. I mean, on a Superbike now, I can't get near him now, to be fair. And I've been on the 500 at the race school. I've been on it like 4 weeks on the trot. And I've got young lads wanting to get quicker and quicker, so they really pushed me so hard to keep in front of them. And then Leon jumped on one where he says, "Come on, I'll give a go with you," you know, and I beat him. Just purely because he hadn't got used to it, you know. We're back on the blades and the actual slaughtered me, but I actually beat him on the 500s.
Good stories. Okay, so we have some time for a few questions. We've still got about 10 minutes left. So, okay, the first hand that went up was the gentleman at the back, and then I'll come to you, sir. But, okay, here we go.
Question for Neil.
Oh, let's wait for the mic. Let's do it properly because it's being filmed, so... Okay. Where did he go?
I forgot.
You forgot that. Run all this way. I'm not as fit as I used to be, you know?
Question for Neil. When you do the on-board lap on MotoGP, is that the best one out of 3 or 4 that you pick, or?
No. Bloody hell, I wish it was. Hey, have you seen how bad my laps are? You think if that's the best one, my bad ones must be bad. I never hit an apex. No, basically, I go out of the pits. As I come round towards the start and finish line, that's when I go, right, so this is a lap of Imola or whatever. I get, that's a one flying lap. Because I do it, Loris Capirossi does it for Italian TV, Alex Cuvier does it for Spanish, and Alex Hoffman does it for the German television. So you get one shot at it. But my whole theory behind that lap is, I watched Steve Parrish on a few occasions ride on track and talk. and it was always going really slow, and it used to wind me up. So I used to think, come on, give it some. So I thought, if I ever get a chance, I'm going to ride as hard as I can, and I override because I get one lap. So as I approach the first corner, it's the first time I've approached that first corner at speed. So I usually outbrake myself, and I hold my breath because I'm anxious, and that's why I'm breathing heavy. I'm fit, honestly. So, and that's why I miss all the apexes, because I'm just saying, you lot want to get a bit of insight into it, but I could go 5 seconds a lap slower and be dead perfect, but I think it's better to be exciting and all action. Well, I think it is.
Okay, thanks for the question. We have another question here, yes, sir.
Yeah, thanks for coming to my home village to race, by the way, for everybody. That's great. It's great that we're in Donington, and I'm glad that we don't go to Silverstone anymore. As a fan, there was just no atmosphere at the track. I was lucky to see Neil and all the other Brits do really well at Brands Hatch. Can we get World Superbikes back to Brands Hatch, and is anybody fighting to get us there?
Okay, so maybe both of you could
You know, for me, it's a tie between Donington and Brands for the most amazing circuits in the world, you know, so I'm a massive fan of Brands Hatch as well, and I don't know why it doesn't go there. I remember not the golden days of the championship, but I remember just being there in summer racing, and there being up to 100,000 people, and all that was, you know, absolutely incredible. So I don't know who sorts it out. I'm going to pass the mic over to Ron, because I'm sure you know how this works, but I don't know.
No, I don't know. Well, I'm not a clue, but all what you're just saying is, yeah, I went to Silverstone for 2 years at the race school, and the second year, it's a brilliant circuit, but it is a bit boring, you know, for spectators, and when you're riding it, you know, a lot. Yeah, so I had 2 years there, but then moved back to Donington because it is more fun circuit to ride. The clients, you know, they come back and back because there's always something different at Donington. Where Silverstone, we got, you know, a bit stale after 2 years, so you know, we're back here, and yeah, I think it's just the exciting circuit.
A Motor GP bike and World Superbike, which is the fastest around Donington Park? And if they had a race, which bike would win? Rossi or Green?
I think it's going to be the MotoGP bike, mainly because there's no limits on it. As far as the MotoGP bike, you've got no restrictions on anything, electronics, you know, very rare, where the Superbike one's got quite a few restrictions on there. So, again, it's down to the rider, you know, what rider you put on there to make it, you know, to make it happen anyway.
How far would it be behind the Superbike?
There's about a second in it, yeah, just over a second really, and I think that's just coming from the no restriction on the MotoGP bike.
Okay, I think you had a question, sir?
What really pisses me off sometimes is the fact that, as motorsport fans, I reckon Britain is the best place to go, end of. And yet, you've got BT Sports that's got rid of it now. We've had all these sports channels that have disappeared, and we need to get it out to the masses, but I think through our own sort of detriment, we're going to lose our sport. And I just wonder if you thought there was any way we could bring it all back, because the fan base is getting lower and lower and lower. And I'm sure anyone that's like me, an old guy, that's been following for years, will realise, well, what's happening? You know, we've got no youngsters in the sport anymore. We've got nobody coming in, and we want bums on seats. So what do we do?
Nicely delegated there. Yeah, do you know what? Good question, really good question, and I'm with you 100%. But I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I'm no different to you. I don't know the answer to that. You know, we've got great racing in Superbikes, incredible racing. This is close and as tight as it's been. I know Imola was not the best of races, but in general, you know, I don't know. I mean, I'm employed by BT Sport, so I'm an absolute massive fan of what they're doing, and I'd argue with anybody that says the coverage is better now than it's ever been for it's not. When was it better? I must have missed that year.
Well, I think as a fact,
Yeah.
it's not so much it's the getting it back out to the people to come and visit and enjoy it.
I don't.
It's the package.
Yeah, the package. I'm just saying the coverage is better than it's ever been. It is. Unfortunately, you have to pay for it, and that's nothing to do with me. You know what I mean? Obviously, but just proud that the coverage and footage, 5 hours live on a Saturday and a Sunday is better than it's ever been. Behind the scenes and all that. It is. I mean, BBC had it and you got a half an hour programme.
They're ruining the BBC.
And Eurosport were fantastic, but their hands were tied. They just got the world feed and you just got the world feed and nothing else. But yeah, I mean, I'd love to see more people at these events, but I don't know how. Do you know how, Ron? What do you think?
Yeah, I think go back in the past. I think the biggest one that used to fetch them in is the one-off races that people don't do now. You know, you used to get the transatlantic, which used to be again Americans and you know such as that. Which it was like it involved the public. You know, there was all behind it trying to beat the Americans. You used to get one-off rides with international stars coming over and that. And I think now, because the contracts are so hard on the riders, you know, doing the championship only and not one-off events, it's actually spoiled us a bit because you know we used to look forward to like you know an international race here, you know, bringing them all in, and you used to get behind your own one that you used to follow, you know, which I think that's just spoiled us a bit. Where the championship now, yes, it's all championship and it's tightened up a little bit too much, so it's lost the public a little bit on that sense, you know.
I do think I'm watching this like we're doing now. This is a good way of getting people back in. Because I mean, I'm not a big F1 fan, I know what you're saying. They've got this big margin now between the fans, that's the net. Whereas the bikes, we're not there yet, but if we keep doing that, that's what we look at. Which will forward, that's the net.
It is, as I say, I would say more, you know, access for the, you know, for you lot to come to us and talk, as I'd call it like being normal people, you know, instead of being superstars, you know, let's, you know, like back to the normal stuff, you know, which, as I say, it's very difficult for them though, because all the factory teams, you know, they just want the rider to do the right thing and, you know, and stuff like that, and the sponsors, so it gets a bit very political on that side.
Yeah, thanks, good question. Nice little debate going on there. When you said normal, I was about to leave, because that's my exit cue, isn't it? So, but no, I think that's one of the things that we're trying to do this year, and obviously Dorna are now involved in the championship, and they've got a strategy of what they want to do for World Superbikes, and I think it's fair to say that World Superbikes was on a bit of a dip, and certainly from working as a freelancer and now being involved with Dorna, they've certainly got a strategy of where they want to go with it, and they're not wanting to sort of have a greater championship or a less championship. They want both the MotoGP championship and World Superbike to succeed, and that's evident with what they're doing, whether it be, you know, even things like this. As I said, last year we didn't have shows on a Friday, we didn't have the Paddock show accessible to people without Paddock passes, so it's going to take a little bit of time to get back where it was, but it's moving in the right direction, and it's going to be events like this where you guys come along during the lunch break, etc., to support that will happen. So, okay, good question. We have two more questions, and then we're going to finish with the competition and let these guys go and get some lunch. First question was from you, young lady.
It's one for Audrey from the ladies. We've seen a photo of you in a jacuzzi with Sam.
I was steady on, when's this going?
Would we see it in the flesh?
No way, it's too cold. and I'd done about 100 press-ups before I went in. Me and Sam, it was funny because we got changed. Sam wasn't staying that was at the hotel where I was staying, and so Sam came and I went, oh, we're going to do this thing in the jacuzzi. Like, it weren't my idea, by the way. So it's like, hey, Audrey, we're going to do some press-ups. I'm like, yeah, of course we are. But I didn't put any oil on my body because that'd be really bad, you know. I got some grief saying I put oil on. I did not put oil on. No, well, I went like this. When I got in the jacuzzi, I went under the water, which was wet. And so, I'm not defending myself anymore.
Okay, and final question, sir.
Hi, question for Neil. Question for Neil. 2003, the 999 was a debut year. And obviously you romped away with it in the end. It was fantastic to see. Do you feel that particular year the bike was good out of the crate? Because subsequent years it's seen a lot more development time. The Paddock has had a real difficult time getting competitive by the look of it the last couple of years. So I just wondered, did it feel as good as it looked?
Good question, but no, it didn't feel as good as it looked at all. In fact, I didn't really like it. Believe it or not, but what happened was the bike, if I could have rode the bike from the year before with Michelin tyres on, I would have been a lot faster. But the bike wasn't that good, you know, and we worked really hard. but I'd got a good team and the best tyres at the time, which were the Michelin tyres, and I was right on top of my game. And motorcycling, or any sport's really psychological, and what happened was, I won the first few races, and the people I raced against thought it was the bike, and the bike was so much better than everybody's, and it was brilliant because the psychological side of it, I sort of got them beat. And it's weird how it works, but the bike wasn't as good as my bike from the year before. Funny, isn't it, really? But, so yeah, that's on that there.
Okay, good question. So to finish then, we're going to have two quick questions. Again, it's going to work exactly the same as we did with Wayne. So a question about each of the riders. The fastest hand, if you get the correct answer, come up on the stage. Make sure that you are sending your picture to us on Twitter and on Instagram. Again, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at WorldSPK. So we're almost at the 150,000 followers. So we're doing pretty well considering we only started properly this year. So let's keep pushing and build up the followers. And again, I think that will go a long way to keeping the success of the championship. So Neil, you've got the mic. So let's ask the first question. Neil's already said during the interview and during the chat show today that the first race victory at Donington Park was for him. But what year was this young lady here? 2000, yeah, absolutely. Do you want to come through? And yeah, round of applause. It's alright, you can describe about it, don't worry about it.
So you can pick any of these bikes, yeah. You know, just make sure it's the Ducati. I mean, that's what I call a prize. So what's that worth? About, so I'll put a price on it, 150 grand. Yeah. Well done. Got to be having it. So either that or we pay your mortgage off.
Buy your house, there we go. Okay, Neil, if you want to just select one of the prizes, and again, we'll just get the official what's your name, sorry? Alex. What about it? Alex, our second winner of the day, ladies and gentlemen. And Neil, if we can just get you to pause, can we just get a handshake just for the official photo of the camp? There we go. Okay, thanks Alex, congratulations. Please be careful on the stairs. We did actually have an accident at Imola, and a young lady did actually fall down the stairs.
I can't believe it, there's a bundle, it's 5 grand.
Yeah, you picked the wrong back.
It's only a cup. It's stingy.
It's not only a cup, it's an official Superbike cup, mate. They're limited edition.
I'm disappointed with the prize, I'll be honest. I thought there'd be more.
That's alright, because
that's me not getting invited back, isn't it?
That's it, mate. You've got your bridges now. Okay, let's pass that across to Ron, and let's see if we can come up with a question here. Now, hopefully, I won't get this wrong. But I remember a few years back that Ron was riding a bike that had JPS logos on it, and it was black, and you don't even know what the question is, man. And he also went on to wildcard, of course, in the Grand Prix. What was the make of the bike? Guy in the white. It was indeed. Our third and final winner of the day, ladies and gents. If you want to come up onto the stage, and we'll get the final. Have I got another mug? Yeah, I can get another mug, yeah.
Sorry. We'll go down.
Okay, fair enough. So do you want to come up on stage as well? Alessandro, hi. Can I get one more prize, please? Make sure as well, ladies and gentlemen, you do visit Alessandro at the official Superbike stand, obviously Superbike. They provide all of the prizes, and it may only be a mug today, but the prizes get progressively better as the weekend gets on. Exactly. So,
as do the guests, I've heard as well.
Well, you said that, mate. You said that. Okay, we'll just wait for the second prize, and let me run down and get that. Oh, I'm going to get one now. We're going to get it now, so just let's get that. Alessandro, if we can just get the prize. Okay. Grazie, Alessandro. And I would say, definitely, ladies and gents, pay the official store. We have a brand new range which was only launched this weekend, so you'll be the first fans in the 2015 championship to get the latest edition. There we go. Let's get and how about it? Our fourth winner of the weekend.
There's a young lady over there, I think her hand went up quickly as well.
Right, and on that note, come on! On that note, ladies and gentlemen, great sport. It's been my pleasure to welcome on the stage. Let's hear it for Ron HASLAM and Neil Hodgson. Okay, just before you run off, ladies and gentlemen, let me just bring you up to speed with what else is happening this weekend. Tomorrow after Tissot Super Bowl, immediately after the session at 1 o'clock, we have a show with all of the riders that will qualify on the front row of the grid, and that will start at 1 o'clock. And do not miss on Sunday the race day show, 45 minutes, all of the winners, all of the podium finishers, and lots of prizes. And believe me, they're not just mugs. Yes, sir.